I dated a married man. I am not proud of this, but I dated a married man. I knew he was married, but I was naive enough to believe everything he told me. I met Jason when I was 21 and he was 27. We were co-workers and became best friends that quickly bloomed into a close relationship. It was during this time that he started laying the seeds of what was to come. He knew that I was in an existing relationship, and I knew that he was married. And as we grew closer, I realized that the relationship I was in was going nowhere, and I wanted to be with Jason. I told him that, and he told me that before we could be together, I would have to break up with him. I didn't hesitate. At first, everything was great. We got along well together. He introduced me to some new things, like Game of Thrones and Fallout Boy. We were happy together. There was one thing that loomed over us. I asked him several times when he was going to leave and divorce his wife. At first, he told me he was saving up money, but then he said that it was too close to the holidays for him to leave her. Looking back, I should have seen the flags and left. There were other flags too. Like my family, they kept trying to talk me out of this relationship. I just ignored them. What did they know? I said to myself. There were other people who were more supportive of us, and I hung around them more. I wish I listened to them. One day, we were hanging out and I got a Facebook message from an old boyfriend named Edward. We didn't end on bad terms, and we had tried several times to keep in touch. But something always happened and we fell back out of contact again. When Jason asked who it was, I was honest. I had no reason to lie to him. He brushed it off, and I thought that was the end of it. Oh, how wrong I was. I started to rekindle a friendship with Edward. I thought Jason would be fine with it, seeing as I had never given him a reason to not trust me. One day he told me, "I don't like you hanging around with other guys. I don't trust them to keep their hands to themselves." I didn't see what the problem was, but I agreed, but continued to talk to Edward. Things continued to get worse. He accused me of cheating on him so much that I couldn't mention a guy's name without him getting mad. I started getting frustrated and would lash out. Whenever I did, he'd tell me to get out of his apartment and not to talk to him for the rest of the night. It happened at work once, and he was giving me a ride to my area when I snipped at him. He pulled over to the side. "Get out," he said. What? "Get out, and don't bother waiting for me when you get off." I went home in tears that night. Things like this continued to happen. One time, I forgot my jacket at his apartment, and his wife found it. He was away with some friends, and he called me and flipped out on me. He didn't respond to any texts or anything for the rest of the weekend. He also made it more than perfectly clear that I wasn't allowed to hang out with guy friends and that he was to become the main guy in my life. I wish I could tell you that I had left then, but I didn't. Anytime I hung out with Edward, I always told Jason that I was hanging with a girlfriend. Edward kept telling me that I need to leave him, but I didn't listen. Then, the day came where it came to a head. I got a text from Jason. He had lost his job and wanted to meet up in a hotel. I thought, okay, a little strange that he doesn't want to meet at his apartment, but whatever. Then I got another message later on. "That wasn't me, that was Nicole. She used my phone to meet with you so she could beat you up." I was in shock. How had she known? How had she found out? I found out that she had been suspicious of him for a while, and when he forgot his phone at home, she had looked through it. I still had a naive hope that he would finally end it with her, and he would stay with me. We met up the next day, and he broke it off with me. I was in a world of hurt. I had done everything that he had asked of me. I let him take my virginity, for crying out loud. Why would he leave me if he was so miserable with her as he said? He gave me a gift then. He called it a late Christmas, Valentine's Day, and birthday gift. It was a PlayStation 4. I had been saving up for months to buy one of my own, but right here is one. We said our goodbyes. I couldn't go home yet. I couldn't face my parents. I went to Edward's and broke down. I half expected him to tell me I told you so, but he never did. I showed him the system after I calmed down. He asked what I was going to do with it. I answered honestly that I didn't know. I weighed my options and chose to keep it. I'm 27 now, and I'm wiser. Edward and I are currently dating, and have been for a few years now. He knows all that happened, and doesn't hold it against me. I have learned to live with my experience, and look at the positive side of it. I have learned that some of the things he was doing was abuse, and I don't have to put up with it. I may not be the woman I am now from this experience. I understand Nicole's reaction, and I don't blame her. I have also learned to forgive myself. I don't excuse my actions at all. I shouldn't have done what I did, and I know that.